for the last 8 years. Every time we have horse racing, Kentucky Derby, the Belmont, the Preakness, I have a guy that I trust, I know, and I like. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome into the locker room the purveyor of FastlaneHandicapper.com, Jeffery Nash. Good morning, Jeffrey.
Hey, guys. Good morning. It's always a great day when it's a Kentucky Derby day, even when it's pouring out.
Now, Jeff, I look forward to this event. I like, out of all the races, the Kentucky Derby is my favorite. I've been there, so it has a special spot in my heart. It's like the first Saturday in May, the running of the roses. It's just such it's a segue to spring and summer.
Yeah, it is. It's just a great day. Even if you're not an avid racing fan, it's a day that brings so much excitement to the community. Everybody loves horse racing on Kentucky Derby Saturday.
People get dressed up. They wear their hats. They get the mint juleps going.
Colors that don't match. You got like stand out.
Talk to us about the 148th running of the Roses, the Kentucky Derby in Churchill Downs. We got 23-year-olds, thoroughbreds in this race, and there's no real favorite this year.
No, and what makes this year very exciting, it's a wide open race. So it's a difficult race to handicap on a good day when you have 20 inexperienced 3-year-olds all charging out of the gate like a cavalry. This year in particular, there's no clear front runner. So what I tell people is, after I have spent hours analyzing the race, I tell people to bet their favorite name, their favorite number, or their favorite skill color. You'll be just as fine.
There are some really good names in this year's race. Happy Jack, Tis the Bomb, Summer is Tomorrow, Charge It, which a lot of people do. They just charge it. But you like Zarda to win this race today.
I do, and it was a close call. What I do in looking at the race, I wanted to see how the race is going to be run. What is the strategic plan for each of the horses running? And what's notable in this race is that there is no horse that has blistering speed up front. So unlike last year where Medina Spirit went wire to wire and the fractions were relatively fast, you're not going to see that in this race. And that means that the front runners are not going to be under an extraordinary amount of pressure to stay on the lead. And the horses that are tracking them close by are not going to have to expend all of their energy to keep pace during the early going, and that gives them a little gas in the tank down the stretch. And for that reason, I think Zardan is poised to sit back behind the leaders, Zandon I meant, to sit back behind the leaders and have enough energy in the tank to win it down the stretch.
We're talking with Jeffery Nash from FastlaneHandicapper.com. You got a long shot coming in second. You like Charge It. He won the Florida Derby, so this horse has got some speed.
Well, he actually finished second in the Florida Derby.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. But what was notable about that race is that the horse, in only its third race in its career, the Florida Derby, quite a step up from its maiden special weight race, which he won in Florida a few months before. But in that race down the stretch, he was all over the track. It's what's known as racing green, when you don't have a lot of experience. He was lugging in. The jockey at that time, the great Louis Saez, could not keep him focused. Todd Pletcher, who's his great trainer, probably worked on that since the Florida Derby. He finished second as a 3-1 shot against White Abero, but I think he is poised to run a bigger race. And what's really interesting about the Derby, and especially when you're handicapping this race, it's not so much who was the best horse yesterday. The question is, who is now poised to be a better horse today? And you look at these prep races, whether it be the Wood Memorial, Santa Anita Derby, or the Florida Derby, and you can see horses improving. And the question is, will they be in a position to strike if they are improved from their last race?
Hey, Jeff, it's Michael Carlin. Got a question for you.
Hey, Michael.
You were talking about the different derbies. And a friend of mine, a couple of years back, I always remember he's a big horse rack, and we were talking about it. And I said, who do you like? And he goes, Mike, for some reason, I always try to get a good look at who's coming out of the Arkansas Derby.
Yes.
So, like, I literally looked it up this morning, and I was looking at, and I actually watched this, Cyber Knife.
Cyber Knife, yeah.
He looked unbelievable in that, and I'm thinking, okay, that's going to be the horse I'm going to go with. I mean, everybody's going down, but I think I'm going to be looking. Have you heard about that, or is the Arkansas Derby a big thing, or it's just one of many derbies coming up?
No, Arkansas Derby is one of the top prep races, and that race that you're talking about, Michael, the Cyberknife victory, he won by almost 3 lengths over Barber Red, and he looked phenomenal in that race. He's trained by the great Brad Cox, who last year traded Central Quality, the best horse in the country. He was a $400,000 yearling purchase by Gunrunner, who's maybe the top sire in the country. He is poised to be one of the top finishes here, and I think that's a good call. What's really interesting about Cyberknife is he beat a filly named Secret Oath, who happened to have won the Kentucky Oaks yesterday in a phenomenal fashion. So I think Cyberknife is one of the top horses in this race.
So good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
No, and the other horse you have to watch out for is, and it's one of the great mysteries of this race, and it's the 12-horse Taba. Taba is only running his 3rd race. This horse could be a monster. He could be, based on his first 2 races, he could be one of the great horses of our time. He was sold as a 2-year-old in training for $1.7 million. His sire is Gunrunner, the same sire as Cyberknife that we just discussed. He is technically not trained by Bob Baffert, who is excused from this race for cheating last year.
I like the way you put that, Jeffrey. He's excused.
He's excused. I'm not a big fan of cheaters, and Bob Baffert, as great a trainer as he may be, did not need to juice up his horses at all. And they caught him red-handed, and he's excused from this race. But he has 2 horses in this race who are now trained by Tim Yakteen, who's a good trainer in his own right. One is Taba. Taba won the Santa Anita Derby by 2 1/4 lengths with an outstanding speed rating. Just remarkable for a horse that is 1 race off of his maiden victory, which, by the way, he won by 7.5 lengths. His owner is the same owner as last year's now disqualified Kentucky Derby winner, Medina Spirit. He said before this horse ever hit the track, the owner said, I have the next Kentucky Derby winner, and it's this Taba. If you watch the Santa Anita Derby, you will be blown away. He walked past his stablemate, Messier, also one of the favorites in this race, as if Messier was standing still. It was a phenomenal victory. The reason I have not picked Taba, the only reason, is it's only his 3rd race, and he's in the number 12 spot. If he gets squeezed, will he have the experience to right himself and win? If he is as great as they tout, he doesn't matter what happens to him early going, he will wipe this field. If his inexperience doesn't allow him to get back on track, so to speak, then he will fall out of the money.
We're talking with Jeffery Nash, FastlaneHandicapper.com. Go to his website. He's got it's really easy to read. You can see the horses with a great explanation of what they do and how they've done it. And Jeffery Nash, the positioning of these horses are pretty important too. Obviously, I guess with the pole position, the first number 1, and you go out. What is the ideal spot for you if you were training the horses?
Yeah, it really depends on the horse. Now, the one spot you would imagine with 19 other horses on your outside, history shows that the one can get squeezed.
Right. In
this case, the one horse, also one of the favorites, Mo Donegal, he's a stretch horse. So if he gets, I would suspect his jockey, Irad Ortiz, a really good jockey, if he gets squeezed, he's just going to settle him in at back, save ground along the rail, and try to come back down the stretch. That's also a Todd Pletcher horse that was sold for $250,000 as a yearling. So, he's got a lot of quality to him, and I don't think it's going to matter. I looked at the statistics for horses that have won from what pole positions over the 148 years, and it's all over the map. The 10 spot, the 12 spot have been successful, but it really depends on the quality of the horse coming out of that spot and the way they run. I do know that the outside poles, the 18, the 19, the 20 spot, those have rarely won. I think 19 and 20 post positions have only had one victory each in the history of the race.
So give me a win, place, and show. Give me trifecta. Set it all up for us.
Well, as I said, I'm going with Zandon because I think he just sets up perfectly to win this race. I am concerned about Taba being the monster that some people claim he is, so I'm going to hold him aside for now. But I'm going to go with the 10, Zandon. I do like as a long shot this Charge It horse. I think he's going to improve from his green run in the Florida Derby. Todd Pletcher, his sire is Tappet, who has a history of producing offspring that are successful in the Kentucky Derby. And the third horse, who I think has a great chance to win, but I'm picking him for third, is the number 3, Epicenter. And as I said earlier today, the speed up front is not going to be blistering. Epicenter likes to run in front. I don't think he's going to be substantially pressed, and I think he will stay up there with the chance of going wire to wire, but I do think he'll be caught by the 10 and the 8, and then I am playing the 12, the Taba, because I'm not going to allow a horse that could be great take down my bets. And those are the 4 horses that I'm going to play in different variables of boxes, wins, plays, show, exacta, trifectas, and the very lucrative superfecta.
Well, it's a fun day. Obviously, horse racing is center stage today. Of course, the Down and Derby Festival was canceled in Camden County today because of inclement weather, but hopefully we'll be able to get that next year and look forward to that. Now, our good buddy Louis Capelli, he went to the Sixers game. He's sitting next to Pat Riley. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, Mr. Hoity-toity.
Surprise me. He finds his way to those great seats, and he's a great horse player as well, Luke Capelli.
Yeah, but but the horses that he bought, they're the glue factory right now.
Yeah, well, I partner with him, so that doesn't make me happy.
All right, Jeff, listen, as always, I really enjoy having you on the program, especially when it's horse racing season. You give us great insight. Of course, it's FastlaneHandicapper.com. Check them out. You got a great detailed explanation on each horse. And, Jeff, thank you so much and enjoy the race.
Yeah, thank you, Billy. And also a shout-out to the Ocean City Police Department. My buddy, Brian Madison, is an officer there. And stay safe, everybody.
All right, there he is, Jeffery Nash, FastlaneHandicapper.com.